Rigged from the start. My stand for election integrity in Oakland, California. This is your host of Gotham, Oakland, Seneca Scott. Oakland is a banana republic where elections are stolen right out in the open and our local media ignores it for years until it's too late to matter. In the summer of 2022, I entered Oakland's mayoral race with a clear vision: restore public trust, demand accountability from failing politicians, and confront the rot infecting our city's political institutions. I was the only candidate publicly advocating for a charter amendment to reform our broken system of government. Notice how Barberly's first 100-day plan now mirrors my old platform? Coincidence? You see, I didn't just run to win. I ran to expose the corruption hollowing out Oakland City Hall and return the power to the people. But what happened on August 12th, 2022 should outrage anyone who believes in fair elections. Union-backed candidate Sheng Thao filed late for mayor and should have been disqualified. Alyssa Victory also filed late for mayor and should have been disqualified. Here's what happened. I arrived at City Hall at 4:23, well before the 5 p.m. deadline, clearly mandated by the law. Both Oakland's Municipal Code, Sections 3.08, 040, and California Elections Code 10220. I followed the rules. Sheng Thao and the city did not. Earlier that week, the city clerk's office gave all of the candidates the wrong filing deadline, August 17th instead of August 12th. The confusion started because under the law, the deadline only extends if an incumbent is not running. An incumbent doesn't just mean the mayor, it means any current office holder seeking the seat. There were 3 incumbents that year: Sheng Thao, Lauren Taylor, and Treva Reed. City staff did not realize this error until around 1:30 on August 12th. Then they began frantically calling candidates, urging us to arrive well before 5 p.m. My campaign was already suspicious. Andrew, my campaign manager, did not trust the process or the city. We had emailed and called the city clerk's office 3 times that Friday alone to confirm. I had originally planned to file Thursday, the 11th. I had an appointment, but I rescheduled to the 12th so I could hold a press conference like Ignacio de la Fuente. I'm like, I need to do that too. Well, we followed the rules. Others didn't. I was there. I saw it all. Eyewitness. Monisha Carter, who was disqualified, arrived at 5 p.m. on the dot. Alyssa Victory came in at 4:41. Sheng Thao walked in the building at 4:49, but she wasn't even in the building at first. She was in her car crying. Alyssa Victory saw her there as she walked out after filing her own paperwork. I saw Alyssa Victory and we took pictures together after I filed my paperwork and I congratulated her. At the time, we thought we just needed to be in the building before 5, but the law is actually clear. Your paperwork has to be complete before 5. That means I was the last candidate to file on time for mayor. Sheng Thao's campaign manager, Julie Kasky, didn't even submit those signatures until well after 6 p.m. Yet somehow, magically, the city stamped her paperwork as received before 5 p.m. They faked the timestamps. They lied. I have the evidence, the emails, screenshots, time logs. I posted them publicly many times. As early as December in 2022, they even falsified my own timestamp, despite me submitting my paperwork on time. The city clerk's office, Brandon Harami, and other progressive operatives were all affiliated with Local 21, the same exact public sector union that endorsed Sheng Thao, including in her recall. Crystal Sam, the city clerk, was an elected officer of Local 21 at the time. These corrupt players know she filed late and she should have never been on the ballot. But they covered it up. They even admitted so in court. So why are they not being charged with crimes? That's a question for the FBI. Or maybe our DOJ. So that's when I brought the evidence to attorney Marlene Sachs from the Alameda County Taxpayers Association, and they filed a lawsuit. Read the lawsuit yourself. I am the main witness. There were others, but I blew the whistle. This wasn't just bureaucratic incompetence, it was a coordinated cover up. The Public Ethics Commission ignored my complaints, even after I submitted evidence I got from a public records request proving that they doctored my timestamps. The city attorney's office tried to fight against Sachs in a lawsuit because Thao was her ally, their ally, and they also endorsed her and were trying to help her fight a recall. 2 timestamp machines, one broken for over a year, and the other manually adjusted and conveniently forgotten after 5 p.m. Surveillance footage of that day deleted. The city's $5 million contract with a security firm, unapproved, unenforced, and written like a middle school essay. It wasn't even signed. The entire chain of accountability collapsed, and the response from officials wasn't reform, it was retaliation. Thao and her progressive allies, including her digital enforcer, Brandon Harami, launched a campaign to destroy my reputation. Not with facts or legal arguments, but with lies. They smeared me as violent, anti-trans, anti-Semitic, right-wing, anti-gay, whatever slander that they could concoct, anti-homeless, you name it. They mobilized their captured media allies, the Oakland side, the Bay Area Reporter, and the Wellstone Democratic Club, the entire Democratic network, to publicly lynch my character and bury over a decade of the real work that I've done for Oakland. Why? Because I blew the whistle and they had to win. You see, too many people had far too much to lose if Sheng Thao didn't get into office. The corruption ran deep. And just like they did to fellow whistleblower Leanna Powell, they tried to destroy me for telling the truth. But let's be real. Thao won by just 677 suspect votes. And if the law had been followed, she wouldn't have even been on the ballot. Period. The city violated its own ranked choice fallacies by putting just 5 voters, limiting voters to just 5 rankings, despite 10 candidates running, and despite that the software allowed for 10. That also skewed the results by design. And what did the city do when the evidence became overwhelming? They changed the law. In June 2024, the city council quietly passed an ordinance removing the 5 p.m. filing deadline, retroactively legalizing their misconduct. Now, on May 6, 2025, City Council will vote to settle the lawsuit for $208,000. That deal includes some reforms, fixed timestamp machines, clearer deadlines, required retention of surveillance footage, and as usual, I was ahead of the curve again. But this was never about money. I won't see a dime from that settlement. It just repays Marlene Sachs' legal fees after years of litigation. The truth is, there's no real remedy now. The damage was done, but thanks to myself, retired Judge Brenda Harbin Forte, and tens of thousands of brave Oaklanders, Sheng Thao has now been recalled by 86,000 votes, the most in any individual election in Oakland's history. But this recall was personal. So to the disgrace and fire Sheng Thao, Brandon Harami, Leigh Hansen, and the rest of the corrupt machine, and to the bootlickers and the media cowards who joined in the character assassination, y'all picked the wrong one. Yes, the attacks continue, but that's fine. Time and time again, I get to say, I told you so. And not a single one of you would debate me in public because you can't win with facts and logic, and your arguments collapsed under the weight of their own contradictions. My message has cut through the noise. It's shaped the political landscape. As Machiavelli said, it is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. I used to resist that idea, but now I understand. Corrupt demagogues should be very, very afraid. I'm not going anywhere, and we will save Oakland. Peace, y'all. Welcome to the show. This is Gotham, Oakland. let's get into our program for today. It's all about that. I'm nearly speechless. So let's start with a little recap of exactly what's going on here. First, I want to start with, hold on. So first, I want to start with reading Marlene Sachs' press release. And I'm not going to read the whole thing because I just covered a lot of that in my monologue. But let's get to the part right here that I think is very, very important. Sachs stated regarding the lawsuit and the recent settlements, an overall lack of election integrity, lack of public records account, and staggering incompetence and government dysfunction were at the heart of his lawsuit. ACTA and I are satisfied that the main issues are going to be addressed soon. We are also happy that the city is now prohibiting the use of private email accounts and text messages to conduct city business. And is making improvements in how citizens get access to public records. But there is still a long way to go. Until the city actually commits to true transparency, legal compliance, accountability, and serving the needs of residents and taxpayers first, these types of lawsuits will continue to be necessary. I don't think they learned their lesson. I think they got off cheap. They admitted no guilt. I wish we pushed a little bit harder. But the facts obviously prove that they are very, very guilty. You have to put the lokes back on. So, hey, look, like, comment, subscribe. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe. If you have not liked this episode yet, please like it. Please share it and leave a comment. The comments really drive not just discussions. I want to see exactly what people think about this content. And is it timely, relevant, and actionable? Those are my goals. I want to make content for you that is timely, relevant, and actionable. Unfortunately, I tried to do the actionable part in December 2022, but as you know, nobody was listening. Actually, let me share that first, just to show my receipts here. Here it is. Here's the thread. Oakland Files, Part 2. Oakland City Clerk's Office illegally covers up mayor's late filing. And here's Sheng Thao even tweeting about it. Like many other candidates, I was given the incorrect filing date for my filing and had to turn in my required paperwork at the last minute in order to qualify. I am deeply troubled that the same thing happened to other candidates who could not make it into the ballot on time. Yet, Sheng, they didn't have union people and loyalists to cheat for them. They didn't have city attorneys to cheat for them. She goes on to say, I stand with Alyssa Victory in her call for restitution and believe that she and other candidates should have a fair pathway to the ballot. That she and other candidates should have a fair pathway to the ballot. Oh, actually, I'm not finished yet. Let me go. There's more. So in this thread, the nomination, here's the municipal code. The period for filing nominations documents by candidates in municipal elections consolidated with the regularly scheduled state elections shall commence on the 113th day prior to the election. The nominations document for the municipal elections consolidated with regularly scheduled state election shall be filed in the office of the city clerk not later than 5 p.m. on the 88th day prior to election. 88 days. There's a lot of, look, you got to have an election lawyer for this stuff. This is one of the reasons why politics are typically out of the range of your average citizen. But I digress. What this shows is that clearly you have to have the paperwork in by 5 p.m. You have to have the paperwork in by 5 p.m. I was the last person to turn their paperwork in at 5 p.m. They said that Sheng Thao entered the building at 3:54 p.m. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, make the screen bigger. I can't make it bigger right now. My apologies. Interesting. But you didn't enter the building until 4:54. So view the documents yourself. You can see that some of the paperwork was stamped at 4:54, But she didn't walk into the building until 4:49, and it takes 2 minutes to walk to the city clerk's office from the entrance. And then again, they're stamping her paperwork right before 5. Now, also, let's look at the emails attached here. This is the big one. Oh, this is so small. I can't make this bigger. So what I'm going to do is put it in post. So don't worry about that. If you look at the emails attached, you will see that Sheng Thao clearly sent this in at 5:10 from Julie Kasky. And this is after, well after 5:50 for this one. This one was sent at 5:50. We will have acquired 10 names. This was due before 5 o'clock. Also, I need to mention, there's lots of paperwork to stamp. Not only do you have to get the 10 people who you have on the ballot for you, you have to stamp all of the, I believe, 100 people that you need to have signed up for you to qualify for the ballot. You have to have a minimum of 100 people signed up. Each one of those is checked and it's stamped. The cadence would show about 30 seconds to a minute for each page. So all of the paperwork, if you're stamping like 20 sheets of paper over 15 minutes, shouldn't those papers be stamped at different times? How are they all stamped at the exact same minute? It makes no sense. They put a manual timestamp and they forged them all. It's obvious what they did. Marlene Sachs proved it in court. She proved it. Also, in regards to video footage, and I'll show this as well, according to witnesses, she did not arrive at the city clerk's office until after 5. The city claimed that the video footage outside the clerk's office had been deleted, but it's illegal for the city to delete any footage for 1 year. Look at the screen. I put it up there. So what does this mean? What does all of this mean? They cheated to win. At least the victory was a big part of it. Let's take a look at that. Here are the election results. Here are the election results from 2022. As you see, Sheng Thao in the first round was down by 6 percentage points. 6 percentage points to Lauren. At least the victory held the difference. 2,598 votes. After ranked choice voting, at least the victory ended up giving 11.5%, mostly to Sheng Thao. I believe about 60% of those votes went to Sheng. Sheng ended up winning by 677 votes. This win would have been impossible without Elisa Victory on the ballot. Elisa Victory filed late. Sheng Thao filed late. The unions covered it up. Elisa Victory was disqualified at first. I don't know if you guys remember that. She was disqualified at first. But then she fought her way back on the ballot. Let's watch that news press conference. One quick thing about this press conference before we watch it. I was there. Peter Liu is holding the sign, right? The hated Peter Liu. Carol Fife and her husband, Earl Harper, Terha, Aka, whatever his name is, Puppet, DeJure, they brought the sound system. They had no problems holding court with Peter Liu back then. Right after this press conference, Carol Fife's husband, Earl Harper, brings me into the corner of City Hall, tries to corner me and says, "We don't like what you're saying about Cat Brooks and Carol Fife. We're going to handle you. We're going to talk about this after the election. We're going to talk about this." And I was like, "Hey, we're talking now. That sounds like a threat. You talked about the threat so much, I almost missed it." Then Carol Fife's walking by and she's glaring at me. And he's over here like, "Yeah, we're going to talk to you. We're going to talk to you. We're going to see you," talking all this shit as he likes to do. He's always trying to intimidate people on behalf of elected officials. Again, a violation of my First Amendment rights. So I told him, "Well, when we have that talk, I'm going to put you on a T-shirt." Carol Fife was like, "Oh, oh," with her little fake outrage. I pointed to her and said, "And you're going to be singing It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday." Ooh. Anyway, I'm just saying, don't threaten me. And by the way, we never had that talk. I've been waiting to have that talk for a few years, but you never seem to want to have it because you're a violent menace. And if you show up, I treat you accordingly. But anyway, back to the program. The headline, Oakland mayoral candidate back on ballot after multiple mix-up. Let's watch it.
Stronger to win on behalf of those who were pushed out of this ballot.
Elisa Victory is celebrating a victory tonight. The Oakland mayoral candidate is back on the campaign trail after she says she was illegally disqualified from the race and removed from the November ballot.
This has only brought more light to the issues
See
going
Peter
on with our
Lou
city,
in the back
with our
right,
democracy,
holding the
and
sign.
the threats to people of color to be represented in our democracy.
Also,
The
you see
ACLU
Marsha
attorney
Peterson was to the
recently
left, was
submitted an
disqualified.
election complaint to the
She
Secretary of
actually
State
showed up
after
at
being
5
told
o'clock,
her
and she
endorsers'
could have filled in her
signatures
paperwork,
needed to
but
be
since she didn't think
verified
anyone would speak
voters
for her, she
under the
didn't.
city's own code. That's not true. Endorsers only have to be residents of Oakland. The city clerk's office says the county registrar made the mistake, and after reviewing city code, they confirmed Victory is back in the race. But that's just one of multiple major mix-ups.
It shows that there's some things that are broken in our government here in Oakland.
Monisha MJ Carter is one of two other people disqualified after the clerk's office gave contenders the wrong deadline to submit their paperwork. Derek So, also off the ballot, is now hoping to win as a write-in candidate.
I'm happy, but then that also opens the doors possibly for the rest of us, because now
you see Toha in the back corner. You see Toha right behind him and Carol Fife
some wrongdoing.
and dude in the
to
clothing with the
cancel out
mask.
that wrongdoing, they should just open up the balloting.
Shane Turner. That was Shane Turner was there. Oh, there's your boy.
Means the city needs to hold another drawing to see whose name will appear first on the ballot. Yet another mix-up that.
Anyway. One quick thing, I had number one. I drew the random number one on the ballot. We had to redraw after Lisa Victory was put back on the ballot, and I drew number one again. There's a 1% chance of that happening. I don't know if I'm lucky or I threatened legal action if I didn't get number one again. Maybe they just made it happen because they cheat. They probably just put me back up there number one, so I would shut the heck up. Who knows? Who knows? I'm not saying they did anything wrong. We know Crystal Sams fixed this ballot. I mean, the timestamps. We already know they cheated for Sheng to win. We don't need to add it anymore. But, yeah, where was Ryan Richardson at the time? What decisions did he make? Why did the city go to court to fight against this when they knew damn well they cheated in order for Sheng Thao to make the ballot? I'll leave those questions for you guys to answer. So here are my closing thoughts. As I said before, Oakland is a banana republic. We have not fixed its deep-rooted institutional corruption. This is why the unions were so panicked. There was such a panic that Lauren would win that California Nurses Association, Local 21 and SEIU 1021 spent nearly $300,000 or more to compare Lauren Taylor to Donald Trump. And because Oakland voters are so stupid, some of you fell for it. And now, we have the exact same lineage, the same incestual corrupt politics that gave us Sheng, the same corrupt public sector labor union that cheated for Thao to make the ballot. And now you know exactly why there's been such a coordinated and deliberate, and I say desperate and hysterical attempt to smear and blame Senator Scott for everything that's wrong in Oakland. It ain't gonna work, y'all. It ain't gonna work. Most of us are too smart for it. Most of us are too kind, loving, and caring for our neighbors to blame one of our own for the things that the city is failing us for. But if you are one of those people, as always, feel free to see me in an actual legitimate debate. I am still waiting for anyone to debate me with facts and logic about all of these things I present. How many times have I been right? How many I told you so do I have to give you? I mean, come on. I know I told you so is low vibrational. I probably shouldn't be saying it as much, and I'm going to try to get better. But seriously, for the amount of abuse that I have taken for standing up and tell the truth, and the amount of people out there who call themselves freedom fighters and revolutionaries who bootleg for the state, what revolutionary or freedom fighter have you ever known? What revolutionary or freedom fighter have you ever known who sides with the government that is failing the people? Oakland's government is failing the people. They don't manage our budget. They tax us to death. They can't do anything right. They lie to us. They fix election. They try to support someone facing 95 years for government corruption. They poverty pimp every single tax dollar We need to change this culture. We must change this culture. Our government culture does not reflect the people of Oakland because the foundational voters who live here aren't voting for these things. These are transient voters and hill hippies who are voting for these things. Oakland has been gentrified. We have a lot of transient voters. And sometimes it's low information voters, but I'm never going to blame poor people for who they voted for. That's our job to reach them. The reason that the District 7 and Deep East Oakland voted 55, 60% for Barbara Lee in that last election is because Lauren Taylor's campaign did not go and speak to those people with a sense of urgency. And most importantly, you never saw them in their media asset. You see, for the recall, go back and look at our recall media assets. Go back and look. What do you see? The faces of the people. Matter of fact, I'm going to share one. I'm going to share one right now. I'm going to share one. I think you need to be reminded of a difference here. Thank you for sticking with me. If you're still here, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you're one of the people who actually stayed to the end and hear the song, you know I love you. I'm rocking with you. Thank you for rocking with me. Every day we're gaining 1 or 2 more followers. I love and appreciate all of you. Even my gang stalkers out there, I try not to have hate in my heart for anyone because it only brings me down. So let me share one more thing, and I'll make my point with this. These were the media assets. These were the media assets of our recall.
Should have been there in the first place. She got up on the podium and everybody voted for it, but you go over to Vietnam and
I didn't vote for her.
make deals for Oakland and you the mayor. Hello. And the crime, get out.
Get out. Here's another one. You see these faces? Look at those faces. Look at those people. What do they look like? People in the flat.
Not doing her job, and there's all these homeless people and roads are not being fixed. She's playing politics. I don't like that.
I don't like that either. Here's another one.
She doesn't do her job. She said no crime. We full of crime everywhere.
All right. That actually was our best performing video. 8 seconds. She said no crime. We see crime everywhere. How many times do you see Latino working class males in Oakland politics? Do you see them? Another one.
I feel like I'm in a third world country like Haiti at times, the way that things are going, and I don't like it. And she is really raping our city by not doing her job.
Woo! Raping our city. Why are you signing the recall the mayor?
I'm signing because I've been here since 1985 and I've never seen Oakland looking like it's looking now. Never. She got to go.
Gotta go. She gotta go. What is the first thing you would like to see done once we recall this mayor?
Get rid of ranked choice voting.
Get rid of ranked choice voting. Y'all get where I'm going with this. I'm gonna do one more. Why not? All right. Since we're here.
We're going to change Oakland back to what
Yes, we're going to do that. Yes, we are.
We did.
We can't do that with her.
But we're not yet.
Can't
We're
do
going
it.
to.
Right. Gotta get rid of her.
Can't do it.
You know, she's got to go.
She gotta go. She gotta go. So look, here's the point I'm making. You saw the people. Those are the people who live in the flats, like myself, who are being failed by these policies. I didn't see any of them in Lauren's campaign in the media asset. You didn't hear any B-roll, any voiceovers or B-roll. No voiceovers in those media assets. No B-roll. Just a camera on their face so they can tell you what they want. Why is it so hard to go to the people and find out what the people want? And that's why we lost that mayoral campaign. Yes, Barbara Lee had a big name. Yes, she had the labor union foot soldiers. Yes, she had the media on her side who refused to report on any of her dirt. We could have beat all of that because we beat it for the recalls. We beat it for the recalls because we did not ignore the hood. We paid attention to the hood. If you pay attention to the neighborhood, if you organize around the issues of the working class, if you believe in trickle-up politics and a post-partisan, heterodox approach to your messaging, and you actually care and have empathy, You know what B-roll and voiceover removes? Empathy. I want to hear from the horse's mouth. I don't want you to tell me what someone else says. Go get it from them yourself. Stop being so lazy, and we'll stop winning election. We'll stop losing election. We'll start winning election. Anyway, we're at the 30-minute mark. I like to end it around here. Peace. I love you. Take it easy. See you next time in Gotham, Oakland.
Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here.